welcome to video podcast number 18. Right off the bat, if you notice, I'm making changes to my YouTube channel. And some of you are not going to be pleased, and I've already had a handful of people express displeasure. But here's the deal. From this point forward, only a small percentage of my YouTube video podcasts are going to remain free of charge. I'd say on average, maybe like 10 to 20% of my video podcasts are going to remain free of charge indefinitely. All of the rest of my video podcasts, they're either going to be paid content from the moment I upload them. They're going to be paid content from the moment I upload them. And then other videos, I'm going to leave free of charge for maybe a week, at most 2 weeks. And then after no more than roughly a 2-week period, I'm going to transform it, convert it into a paid video. So yeah, as you notice, like a lot of my videos already that I've done that were previously free of charge, they now you have to pay as low as 49 cents to watch it, and others as high as $1.99, which still is very cheap. Again, when you consider that my one-on-one coaching, I charge like an average of $250 per hour. And my Skype and telephone coaching, I charge an average of $100 an hour. Getting ready to cough. Which brings me to my lemon squeeze, baby. Now, you know what? Somebody tried to argue with me about Vitamin Water Zero. They said, Alan, Vitamin Water Zero has a bunch of calories in it. Why in the fuck would it be called zero if it has sugar in it? Come on, fellas. Use your mind. Use your brain. That's why you see this big zero right there? Wait. Yeah. Zero. That means zero sugar. They have regular vitamin water and they have vitamin water zero. But despite that, I call myself decreasing my sugar intake. A couple of my female viewers and listeners, they notice something, which is the truth. They say, Alan, I'm not trying to, nitpick on you, but in the last few videos, it looked like you've gained a few pounds from your first video podcast to your last video podcast. And actually, I was at the gym just yesterday. Yeah, do you know, in the month of May, starting with probably the last week in April up until now, I'd say roughly the last 4.5 to 5 weeks, I've gained 10 pounds, man. That depressed me, man. So I got to get back to the grind, man. I've gained 10 pounds in roughly, you're talking about an average of about 2 pounds a week. Now, I know what it's because, man. I changed. I've been slacking a little bit on my eating habits. I ate some dessert food items the last few weeks. I gained about 10 pounds in the last 5 weeks. And again, a couple of women actually picked up on that. They could tell just looking at my face. They said, Alan, your face looks chunkier than it did about a month ago. And I was like, damn, you can notice that shit, huh? See, videos and pictures don't lie when it comes to weight. Excuse me. Now, when it comes to beverages, I'm good. I don't drink any heavy sugar beverages. So in that regards, I've been good. But yeah, when it comes to some of the food I eat, like, for a while I almost eaten hardly any white flour. But in the last couple months, I've been eating a lot of white flour. That adds weight. And like I said, I've been eating some dessert items like I love sweet potato pie. How about this whole sweet potato pie, which nullifies the whole purpose of drinking vitamin water zero, all that sugar. But I love sweet. I hadn't eaten it in over like 2 years. Man, I bought a sweet potato pie. Shit was good, dude. It was good. Now, I did eat no sugar whipped cream on top of the sweet potato pie, but man, that shit was good. Yeah, my weakness, man, is dessert items, man. My mother, my late mother, man, she was known in our family and among her friends. She was like a legend when it came to creating really all foods. She was just a great cook. But particularly dessert items, I used to tell all the time that she should open her own like bakery or something. So that's where my sweet tooth comes from, because my mother, she used to make, like, people, her friends and even some of her relatives would offer to pay her money for her to make dessert items. Like, she used to make these cookies called Mexican wedding cakes. Oh, man. Man, them are the best cookies I've ever had in my life. Best cookies I've ever had in my life. And her peach cobbler was off the chain. Oh, man, her peach cobbler was just... But anyway, enough about desserts and me picking up some weight. Now, what balances that out, I do a lot of work with free weights. So you can say some of my weight probably is in the form of muscle, because I do a lot of dumbbell work and weight machines at the gym. But I need to step up my cardio. But yeah, man, my channel is very little of my videos are going to remain free. Like I said, there's going to be about 10 to 20% of my videos that will remain free indefinitely. But the rest of them are either going to be paid content from the time I upload it. Like, for example, my video, No Free Attention, that was paid content from the moment I uploaded it. And then the other videos, I'm going to leave it free for about a week, no more than approximately 2 weeks. And then I'm going to charge no less than 49 cents to 99 cents for you to watch it. Oh, speaking of paid content and stuff, now bless some of you guys' hearts. I've gotten at least a handful of people offering their business advice to me and their marketing advice to me. Probably because there was one video podcast where I said in 2009 that David X criticized me. He said on a positive, he said, "Alan, you're a hell of a dating coach. I think you're one of the best in the world. But," he said, "you're a poor marketer. You don't market yourself well." Now, again, I think I've improved since 2009, 2010. But a lot of you guys were giving me advice. Here's the thing. I appreciate you guys who had, genuine intentions in offering me your business-oriented advice, your marketing advice. But here's where I have my criticism. If you don't have a track record of helping out somebody else that has a well-known name, why would I want to hire you to help me out? I mean, come on, that's how business works. That's business one-on-one. I mean, if you're serious about, say, coming to me with an attitude like, "Alan, I think I can help you market your books better, market your advice better," the first thing you want to tell me, "Hey, have you ever heard of, Joe Johnson? Well, here's his website. When I first started working with Joe Johnson, he was making only like $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And now because of my advice, he makes $250,000 a year." See, then I'm going to be all ears and all eyes. If you tell me something like that, if you show me at least one or two people that you have a track record of improving their level of business success and financial success, or you tell me about a guy who was only known by X number of people when you first started working with him, but now he's a household name, of course I'm going to be all eyes and ears. But if you're telling me, "Alan, I think I can help you do this, and I think I can help you do that," but you ain't showing me no track record, no resume of previous success, why would I listen to you? I mean, you take me, for example. One of the reasons why I have clients that are referred to me is because they know I have a track record of helping men improve their verbal communication skills with women, their verbal seduction skills with women, and their overall success in connecting with women. I mean, I got a 10-year plus track record of that shit. So yeah, for all you guys, again, I appreciate all you guys who are offering. I think is I like the spirit of your offers. But if you want me to take you serious, you gotta show me some kind of track record of, hey, Alan, I've worked with this person before, and this is how they were when I started working with them, and this is how they were a year or two later. Then yeah, I'll listen to your proposition for wanting to help me out. But yeah, if you can't show me no track record of ways you helped enhance someone else's marketing and business success, then I'm not going to take you serious. So keep that in mind. Good news. And I think I alluded to this in my last video podcast, but the month of May, Audible allows me to keep track of my numbers pretty quickly. Unlike like my paperback sales, they're delayed, but audiobook sales, I can check my numbers pretty much close to being in real time. And yeah, this is the month of May is going to be my second best month for audiobook sales ever. So I wish I had that sound effect of applause I used to have on Blog Talk Radio. I had this sound effect for applause. But yeah, the month of May 2017 is going to be my second best month for audiobook sales ever. I would say it's mainly been 2 of my audiobooks that have increased. The Possibility of Sex, it has about the same numbers as had all of my previous months. Same with the Beta Male Revolution. Although the Beta Male Revolution did pick up in the last 2 to 3 days. Yeah, it actually did pick up in the last 2 to 3 days, if not a few days longer. But Mode 1 and even more so, Ooh Say It Again, have really increased. And I think a large part of it is because of my video podcast. But yeah, Ooh Say It Again, yeah, it's I want to say it's done roughly twice as many sales minimum than it's done in my previous month's average. Yeah, so the sales of Ooh Say It Again have pretty much doubled. And I would say Mode 1 is probably doing 150% of the sales that it was doing in previous months. So yeah, those 2 audiobooks have increased. And so I want to thank you for all you guys who, if you purchase beginning with May 1st through yesterday, if you purchased a copy of my Mode 1 audiobook or a copy of my Ooh Say It Again audiobook, I commend you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I thank all the guys who contributed through PayPal donations and all the guys who contributed through Patreon. My Patreon page is patreon.com/mode1, MODEONE, patreon.com/mode1. And yeah, everybody who support me financially, I appreciate you. Now, I always invite you guys to leave comments in the comment section below, for public feedback, as well as private feedback through my email, youtube@mode1.net, MODEONE.net, or my Facebook pages. Now, I'm going to give you a warning, because I know some of you have noticed that I deleted some of your shit. Man, don't come on my page and write hateful shit or stupid shit. I know a lot of other YouTube hosts, they leave every comment up that people post. And more power to them. But I ain't that type of dude, man. If I see something that's either just blatantly hateful or just blatantly stupid, I'm going to delete that shit immediately. Here's my thing. I don't have too many haters compared to some other YouTube hosts, but I have a handful. But here's my thing, dude. If you're not feeling me, you're not feeling my verbal style, the way I express myself, the general nature of my knowledge, wisdom, insight, and advice, here's a simple solution. Stop listening to my ass. I don't understand why people listen to shit and then criticize it. Like, I've had friends, they'll watch a TV show over and over and over again, but yet they'll be criticizing a TV show. Either certain characters or certain storylines. My attitude is, if you don't like the characters and or storyline in the show, why the fuck you listening? Why are you watching that show on a week-to-week basis? I don't watch a television show if I don't like it. I give a show usually 2 to 3 episodes to win me over. If a show doesn't win me over in 2 to 3 episodes, I don't watch that show anymore. Period. I don't watch that show anymore. I don't watch a show repeatedly and then criticize the shit. Ain't nobody forcing you to watch my YouTube videos. You're watching them by choice. If you don't like them, stop watching. Period. So again, if you write something that I think is either just silly or stupid or hateful, I'm going to delete that shit. And even take a step further, I'm going to ban you, because you can go to any YouTube user's page, and there's a place where you can click on, like if somebody writes something that's just really hateful on my shit, I can not only delete their comment, but I can go to their page and ban that user from ever posting on my page again. And then the only way they can try to post again is to create a whole new profile. And if they write some stupid or hateful shit, I'm going to ban that too. Again, I haven't had it, compared to some other YouTube hosts, I haven't had that many haters. Like, I know some guys I can think of, they got just hundreds of haters on this shit. But, yeah, man, don't be writing no stupid shit or no hateful shit on my shit. You know, now, if you post an intellectual disagreement with something I say, I won't delete that. Like, if you say, Alan, what you said between the 10-minute mark and the 20-minute mark, I have philosophical differences with, and here's why, and you explain it in an intelligent manner, I don't have any problem with that. So yeah, I'm all up for what I would call intellectual disagreements and debates and discussions. I don't have an issue with that at all. But I'm talking about just silly, like, hateful shit. Just stupid shit. So I'm working with 2 clients in I'm going to be flying to Los Angeles again. I tell you, that's my second home. I got 2 clients I'm going to be working with later on in the month of June. And last week I worked with 2 clients in Chicago. And man, this is going to get into the gist of my video podcast today, man. It's going to be about 2 things. So some of you guys, as I lightheartedly said in a couple of video podcasts before, I can't remember the titles of them, but I remember I said in one video podcast, I said, after this video podcast is over, you're not going to like me. You know, because here's the thing about me, man. I notice a lot of male YouTube hosts, they spend 95 to 99% of their podcasts criticizing the behavior of women. And then you have a lot of female YouTube hosts that spend 95 to 99% of their time criticizing exclusively men. See, one thing you learn about me just from reading my books, I don't discriminate by gender, man. I criticize both genders. I don't exclusively criticize women. I don't exclusively criticize men. I criticize full of shit behavior exhibited by members of both genders. If you're a man who's full of shit, I'm going to call you out. If you're a woman who's full of shit, I'm going to call you out. So I don't have any bias towards any one gender. I'll call anybody out who exhibits behavior that I think is dishonest, disingenuous, inconsistent, contradictory, hypocritical, or misleading and manipulative. If you exhibit any one or more of those forms of behavior that I just mentioned, I'm generally going to call your ass out, whether you're a man or a woman. So here's my first thing, man. Generally, I'm willing to work with any client, okay? especially if you're paying me money. I'm willing to work with any clients. Now, I will say on behalf of myself, probably 95, 96, 97% of my clients are what I would call good quality clients. I don't really have any criticisms of them. But I always have a small percentage of clients that come to me saying stupid shit. And when that happens, I do one of two things. I either refuse to take their money, I refund their money once they tell me what their objective is, or I take their money and then I rip them. I rip them to shreds after I take their money. Because I don't have a refund policy on my consultations. Once you pay me, your money is gone. Remember that. So if you don't like what I say during the consultation session, you ain't gonna get no refund. Your money's gone. I know that might sound hard line because I know there are a lot of pickup artists and other dating coaches who offer like a 30-day full refund policy. No, man. When you pay for my shit, it's non-refundable. I say that. I tell you that up front. My shit's non-refundable. So when you pay for a coaching session, a Skype or telephone consultation, email consultation, that's just non-refundable, man. So if you didn't know that before, let me make that clear. My shit's non-refundable. But yeah, man, I had this guy pay for a Skype consultation. And he says, yeah, Alan, man, I've been hearing about you. I want to get some advice from you on how to seduce all these no good, slutty bitches out here. He actually said that. He said, I want to learn how to seduce these no good, slutty bitches out here. Man, I took this motherfucker's money and then I proceeded to shred this motherfucker to pieces. I shredded this motherfucker to pieces. Just like I had a dude a couple years ago. He paid for a consultation. He said, yeah, man, I want to know how to get pussy on the side. I'm married and I want to know how to get more pussy on the side. I took his money and then I shredded him to pieces. See, man, you guys need to refer back. Now it costs money to listen to this video. But I was going to say, you need to refer back to my video, The Myth of the Prudish and Monogamy-Oriented Good Girl, which I would say arguably to date is still my most popular video of all my video podcasts based on feedback. See, one of the things I said in that video, man, here's the problem with a lot of you men. A lot of you men are so fucking hypocritical. He's so fucking hypocritical, man. You think you have a green light to be kinky as hell, to be promiscuous as hell, and if you're in a relationship, you think you have a green light to cheat on your wife, your fiance, or your long-term girlfriend, but you don't think women have the same green light. Man, you better wake the fuck up, man. You better wake the fuck up. Shit. I'm telling you right now, if you married and you bragging to your friends about cheating on your wife, it's a motherfucker like me that's fucking your wife behind your back. Believe that shit. Believe that shit. Write it down. Believe that shit. I've had own friends of mine had their girlfriends, wives, fiancés throwing pussy at me. And these were guys that were cheating on them. You better wake the fuck up, man, thinking women don't want dick as much as you want pussy. That's why I did that video podcast. To hopefully wake some of you motherfuckers up, man. Some of you guys literally think women are born being these like super prudish, strictly monogamy-oriented creatures. And that's why I did that video. To wake your ass up, man. And some of you still don't get that, man. Women want to fuck too, man. They might be more selective when it comes to their choice of dick than you are when it comes to your choice of pussy. But the bottom line is women want dick. They want good dick, though. See, men, Like the late comedian Patrice O'Neal had a joke about this. He was basically like, men will fuck damn near anything. Like he had a joke. He said, if we see a woman half naked in a dumpster, we'll try to fuck that chick. Because he was basically like, men don't have no standards when it comes to pussy. At least casual pussy. Women, man, they just want good dick. They don't want average to less than average dick. They want good dick. When it comes to average or less than average dick, they'd rather use a sex toy like a dildo or a vibrator or something. But all that said, women still want to be fucked. And so here's the thing, going back to this guy's comment about, damn, I hate outside noise. God damn. Going back to this comment, this guy who paid for a consultation session talking about, I want to learn how to seduce these no good slutty bitches. How you gonna call women no good? What makes you good? That's what I want to ask some of my listeners and viewers, you men watching. I know I got some good quality guys who watch my videos, and props to you. But for you guys who passing judgment on women, I'm asking you, what makes you a good motherfucker? Huh? What makes you so good? If you're cheating on your wife on a regular, semi-regular basis, on cheating on your fiance or girlfriend, you ain't no good motherfucker. You ain't shit. You ain't got the balls to be honest with your wife, fiance, or girlfriend. So what makes you good? I don't respect none of you cheating motherfuckers. You ain't got no balls. And when I was in my 20s and 30s, I took pleasure out of fucking your fucking wife and fucking your girlfriends and fiancés. That's what I got. I got pleasure out of that shit. If I was fucking a woman who I knew her husband was cheating on her, shit, I took pleasure out of that shit. And you can see the passion in my voice. I don't respect you cheap motherfuckers. I have some close friends of mine who would always brag on how they was cheating. That same guy, their wives, fiancés, and girlfriends would be throwing the pussy at me on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis. Remember that friend I told you, I think it was in video podcast number 3 or number 4? I talked about there was a high school friend of mine that we kind of fell out because I fucked his girlfriend. Now, generally, I do regret fucking his girlfriend because I think it was just kind of wrong, but I'd say 2 things in my partial defense. Number 1, his girlfriend threw the pussy at me. It wasn't like I pursued her. She threw the pussy at me. And number 2, this friend of mine was always bragging on how he was cheating on her. See, you guys need to wake the fuck up, man. Thinking that these women you cheating on are going to be sitting at home being faithfully monogamous to you. You better wake the fuck up, man. I guarantee you that 9 out of every 10 times, if you cheating regularly on your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, she going to find a way to cheat on you. Believe that shit. Believe that shit. Better wake the fuck up, man. And even you guys who are not in relationships calling women no good slutty bitches. What makes you good? That's what I want to know. What makes you good? What about your character integrity makes you good? See, now, there's some YouTube hosts out here, they criticize the behavior of women, the character of women, the integrity of women, and a lot of their criticisms are valid. I have my own criticisms of women's character, integrity, and behavior. But one thing I will say emphatically, women are definitely no better than men as a group. But in their partial defense, they ain't significantly worse than men as a group either. Men are full of shit too. Guys would always call out women for being full of shit, but y'all full of shit. And see, a lot of pickup artists and other dating coaches, they don't have the balls to tell you guys that because they don't want to lose their paying customers. Like, I know some pickup artists and dating coaches, they'll never criticize men because they're scared that the man will get pissed off and stop buying their products and services. Whereas I'm a guy, man, I don't give a fuck. If you stop buying my books because I tell you you're full of shit, so what? If you stop paying for a consultation session because I'll tell you full of shit, so what? I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna hold back on my criticisms of men just so I can make money. The reality is a lot of you men are fucking full of shit. You're just as dishonest, if not more dishonest than women are. You're just as disingenuous and insincere, if not more so than a lot of these women are. You're just as adulterous and unfaithful as a lot of these women are. You're just as promiscuous, if not more promiscuous, than a lot of these women are. So why are you criticizing them? You expect women to be perfect, but you can just be this flawed individual, but women are supposed to be these perfect creatures who can do no wrong? Man, you better wake the fuck up, man. You better wake up. Women ain't no better than you, and they ain't no worse than you. You want to fuck two women at the same time, they want to fuck two dudes at the same time. What's the difference? You want to cheat on your wife, they want to cheat on their husband. What's the difference? What's the difference? You want to pay money to prostitutes, call girls, and erotic escorts to get some pussy? Some of these women spend money on guys to get some dick. What's the difference? I told you in the last video podcast, women got 8,000 nerve endings in their clitoris, and you don't think they horny? When a man only has 3,500 nerve endings in the head of his penis? Come on, man. You better wake up, man. You better wake up. You think I'll seduce women less than 2 hours after I met them, less than an hour after I met them, or less than a half hour met them just because of just dumb luck? Man, you better wake up. I recognize that women are just as horny, if not horny, as I am. And that's how I talk to them. That's how I treat them. See, that's where a lot of you guys make your mistake. You talk to women and treat women like they're like only 1/4 as horny as you are. I never talk to a woman like that. When I'm in my seduction mode with women, I talk to women basically with an attitude like, I know you at minimum just as horny for dick as I am for pussy, and if not more so. I know women want to be fucked. I know women want to be fucked. And the second thing you do is you pass judgment on women. I talked about that in 2 or 3 of my previous video podcasts. See, this is why I said pimps are loved by so many women. See, pimps, man, they're not judgmental, man. You might have a small percentage of it, but that's one of the keys to being a successful pimp. Pimps don't judge women. They let women be who they really are, man. A lot of you guys, man, it's like this chick. I was talking about people commenting in my comment section. There was one chick wrote in my comment section named Renee. Now, I had to delete, I think, 1 or 2 of her comments because she started getting antagonistic with me when I wasn't even disagreeing with her. I find that so weird when somebody is being antagonistic with you when you're actually agreeing with over half the shit they say. And that's what this woman was doing. She was like trying to pick a debate with me, and basically, truthfully, probably 80 to 90% of the shit she was saying, I actually was like, I agree with you. But one of the things she said was she watched my video, The Myth of the Prudish and Monogamy Good Girl. And she went on to say, with very angry undertones, she said, the problem with men is they want to live in a lie. She said, men want to believe, they want to go through their life believing that women are these innocent, wholesome, prudish, strictly monogamy-oriented good girls when that's so far from the truth. She basically, I can't remember her exact verbiage, but in a nutshell, she was basically like what I've been saying. She said, us women, we want dick just like y'all want pussy. She said, there ain't no difference. We want dick just like y'all want pussy. She said, but men don't want to accept that. They don't want to believe that. They want to somehow believe that women are all innocent and that they only want to have sex with their husbands and boyfriends. And she said, that's bullshit. And I agree with her. It is bullshit. I don't know when some of you guys are going to wake up and understand that shit. And then you got the nerve to judge it. See, here's the key with you, a lot of you guys. Some of you guys are so fucking hypocritical. You want women to give you the pussy. That's what you want. That's what you tell me you want. You want women to give you the pussy, but then when they give you the pussy quickly and fairly easily, you turn around and judge them for it and call them no good sluts and cunts and bitches and shit. Who the fuck are you to pass judgment on these women? Who the fuck are you to do that? That's what I'm saying. Who the fuck are you to do that shit? You the motherfucker wanted the pussy. And you're going to get the pussy and you're going to turn around and pass judgment on them because they gave it to you quickly and easily, which is what you wanted. That's what you wanted, wasn't it? A lot of you guys hit me up like, hey man, I want to learn how to seduce women in the nightclub. I want to learn how to seduce women in the bars. I want to learn how to seduce women that I meet on the streets. I want to be able to fuck women within 48 to 72 hours after I meet them. Okay, if that's your objective and you succeed in accomplishing that objective, why are you passing judgment on a woman for giving you the pussy? If that's what you wanted. Man, all you guys who fit into that category, man, fuck you. I have no respect for your ass. You full of shit. Full of shit. All you judgmental motherfuckers, man. That's why some guys didn't like my book, Who Said Again. Because there's a chapter in Who Said Again where I go after guys who are fathers with daughters. Like there's a lot of guys, I've talked about this before, you've heard this before, but there's a lot of guys that they want to fuck some other dude's mother, some other dude's sister, some other dude's daughter or niece, but they don't want nobody fucking their mother, sister, daughter, or niece. Man, fuck you hypocritical motherfuckers, man. I don't have no respect for you. I'm going to tell you emphatically in this video. If you got a daughter, 9 times out of 10, somebody going to turn her out. You're being unrealistic if you think, if she run across a motherfucker with personality traits that I got, she going to get fucked. She going to get fucked. I'm telling you that. Your daughter, your niece, your sister, she got a pussy that wants dick. You better start accepting that shit and quit treating her like she this little good girl that's going to be a good girl all the way up until she get married. Not in this society. You better quit living in the 1940s, 1950s. Shit. Your sister, daughter, niece, she got a clit with 8,000 nerve endings that wants some dick, unless you're a lesbian. Some motherfucker beginning with as early as high school is going to turn her ass out. You better accept that shit. Some of you guys got your nerve to pass judgment on women and call them no good, scum of the earth, slutty bitches. And a lot of you guys are no good, scum of the earth, slutty motherfucking men. Better wake up, man. You need to be more objective. You need to look at yourself in the mirror, dude, and see what's so great about you. What's so great about you? What makes you such an admirable, noble man? Huh? Every woman you meet, do you tell them straight up you want to fuck them? Or do you pretend to be their platonic friend for weeks, months, and years? Huh? If you pretending, you full of shit. If you fucking 5 different women, do you tell all 5 women that you fucking other women? Or do you tell each of those 5 women that they the only woman you fucking? If you lying to these women, you full of shit. If you stepping out on your wife, fiance, or girlfriend, do you got the balls to tell her that you want to take on additional lovers? Or do you pretend like you this monogamous dude? If you pretend like you this monogamous dude, then you full of shit. You trying to fuck your best friend, co-worker's daughter, but then you want to turn around and get mad if one of your friends or co-workers trying to fuck your daughter? Man, you full of shit. A lot of you motherfuckers listen to me. Again, a good number of you guys, based on your feedback, are quality guys. I can tell you're quality men. I'm not addressing this to you. If you're a quality guy with quality character, quality ethics, quality integrity, I'm not talking to you. But a lot of you guys who full of shit, who want to always try to dog out women, but think you ain't got nothing worthy of being dogged out, man, kiss my ass. You full of shit. And like I said, if you come to me looking for a Skype consultation or a telephone consultation, in most cases, I'm going to take your money and then I'm going to rip you to shreds. And in 1 or 2 cases, I've actually turned down people's money. I said, no, keep your money. I don't, based on what you told me you're looking for, I don't even want to help you. I'm not trying to help men leave women emotionally damaged. I'm all about helping men learn how to be bluntly honest and upfront, specific, and straightforward about what they really want, about why they really want to share a woman's company instead of being full of shit. I don't teach guys how to be full of shit. I don't encourage guys to be full of shit. I don't condone guys being full of shit. You go to some other pickup artist or dating coach if you want to learn how to get women in bed by being full of shit. That's not my MO. That's not my MO at all. And anybody who knows me knows that's not my MO. I'm all about getting laid by being upfront, specific, and straightforwardly honest about the fact that you want to get laid. And after you get laid, being non-judgmental. I don't fuck women and then after I fuck them, call them a 2-bit slut or a 2-bit hoe. You know, do that, what I call that high school locker room talk. Tell 15 of my boys, yeah, man, you know, Linda Johnson, yeah, man, you know, I got that pussy, man, she ain't nothing but a slut, she ain't nothing but a hoe. Man, fuck her, man, I fucked her the first night I met her, man, she ain't nothing but a slut. Man, shut up with that shit. I have nothing but disdain for guys who are just low character type motherfuckers, man, and unrealistic motherfuckers. Y'all better get more realistic about the true sexual nature of women and quit living in these delusional fantasy worlds. Like that chick Renee said. You know, she said a lot of men, they live their entire lives in a lie. Oh, another thing, one more thing before I get off my admonishment of certain guys. Some of you guys crack me up, man, including some YouTube hosts, want to criticize women for their preferences as if you don't have your own preferences. Man, please. What is wrong with you? Like I've heard guys say, man, I can't stand women who only go after guys who are 6 feet tall or taller. Well, what about you? What about some of you guys who say, I only have sex with a woman with a round, juicy ass. But if a woman got a flat ass, I won't fuck with her. Isn't that a preference? You prefer round bubble butts over pancake flat asses? That's a preference, ain't it? So how you gonna criticize a woman if she says she want a guy that's 6 feet tall, or she want a guy with a 10-inch dick, or she want a guy with long hair or short hair or blue eyes or green eyes? How you gonna criticize any woman's preference? And you got your own preferences. For short women, tall women, long-haired women, women with pretty smiles and pretty teeth, women with big tits. You got your own preferences, but you gonna criticize women for having their preferences. Man, shut the fuck up, man. You guys amuse the hell out of me with this shit. Shit, I know I got my preferences for what type of women I will date, won't date, will have casual sex with, won't have casual sex with. I rarely if ever criticize. The only time I criticize women in relation to their preferences is when they're insincere about them. Like, for example, a woman who says, I will only date nice guys, but then when you examine her life, you see that she dates anything but nice guys. Now, those type of women I don't criticize because they're being dishonest and disingenuous about their true preferences. They'll have public preferences, but privately they got totally different preferences. Those are the one category of women that I will say that I will criticize in relation to their preferences. But if a woman says, I like a guy who has this physical trait, that physical trait, this non-physical trait, that non-physical characteristic, if that's their choice and their preference, that's on them, man. So? You got, again, man, you got your preferences. Don't be criticizing. Like one of the most common among a lot of black men, well, I ain't gonna just say black men, I'll say some white guys too, but mainly black men. I've heard a lot of black men say, oh man, you know, I hate when women just want to have sex with guys who are like street thug types and hoodish type dudes. Hey man, if those are the guys that get that woman's pussy wet, why you hating? Why you hating? If that's who gets their pussy wet. Obviously you don't. That's what you need to be real about. Obviously these thugs and hood types and street types, they getting that woman's pussy wet and you not. So either you need to step up your game and learn how to get women's pussies wet, or you need to shut the fuck up. That's what you need to do. I don't care. A lot of guys think, I know a guy, I was on one of Obsidian shows one time. This is a guy I'm pretty cool with. I ain't gonna say his name. But he was suggesting that women should be more attracted to him simply because he was intelligent. He had good morals and values. He was a law-abiding citizen. Man, none of that shit got nothing to do with getting a woman's pussy wet. If you want to delusionally think that that does, be my guest. But just because you a clean-cut guy, you speak well, you got 2 or 3 college degrees, you've never harmed any pets or children, makes you think that women just gonna beat down your door to give you some pussy, you living in a delusional fantasy world. That's why I always say, man, never confuse. What's my basic fundamental philosophy? Of all my various pieces of advice, I have one I always say, my one, never confuse and or conflate the appeal of your non-sexual companionship with the appeal of your sexual companionship. And that's what a lot of you guys do. And in fairness to you guys, though, a lot of women do the same thing. I would say that's the biggest mistake both men and women make, is they confuse and conflate the appeal of their non. There's a lot of things that will make women attracted to wanting to spend time with you non-sexually that won't do shit for them sexually, and vice versa. That's what a lot of you guys need to realize, man. There's a lot of things you can do, like things like being intelligent and being funny. Yeah, a lot of that shit will make women want to spend time with you non-sexually. But I ain't never heard a woman crack up laughing and then 2 seconds later say, ooh, you got my pussy so wet. That's why a lot of times, one of the most controversial statements I made when I spoke in London in November 2010, I was on stage and I told guys, I said, for the most part, humor is overrated. Like a lot of guys think that being funny is one of the number one things that'll get a woman in bed. Dude, I used to do stand-up comedy. Trust me. I'm a certified, I was once ranked in the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Sun-Times as the top up-and-coming comic in the city of Chicago. So I know about being funny. Read my Wikipedia page. Matter of fact, most of the top-notch comics came out of Chicago. They either know me personally or they heard of me. Like I remember when I first met D.L. Hewley in Los Angeles. When I told him my name, he said, oh, I know about you, man. Bernie Mac told me about you. He said, you was a funny motherfucker. I said, yeah. But I told him I don't do comedy anymore. He said, why you stop? Anyway, that's another story for another day. But yeah, man, almost all the big name comics who came out of Chicago knew who I was. Yeah, in the latter half of 1989 and the first half of 1990, I was considered the top up-and-coming comic in Chicago. But anyway, that's a side note. But my point was, so I said that to say I know all about what it means to be funny, but I'm telling you right now as a dating coach, it's cool to be witty, but there's a difference between being witty and just outright funny, man. I would never try to get no woman in bed by cracking a bunch of jokes. Most jokes don't get no woman's pussy wet. It makes women entertained by you. And again, it makes them want to spend time with you non-sexually, but it don't make them want to open their legs to you. I'll tell you one simple thing a lot of you guys do, and this is something that ain't even unique to me. I think pretty much all credible dating coaches tell you guys this. I tell you just one simple thing. Why are some of you guys so fucking thirsty, man? Like you damn near beg women for pussy. Man, let me tell you something, man. Ain't no woman get turned on by a dude begging them for pussy, man. That is, if anything, that's like one of the biggest turnoffs in the world for a woman. You playing up to a woman's ego all the time and basically like a puppy dog, like, please, please give me some pussy. Please, please, I need it so bad, please. Man, how would you even realistically think that that's going to get a woman's pussy wet and you begging a woman for pussy? Man, when I talk to women, 90 to 99% of the time, I talk to women like my dick is the most valuable dick on earth, even if I know realistically it's not. But that's how cocky I am. I talk to women with attitude like, I know you want some of this dick. I know you want some of this dick. I don't treat no woman's pussy like it's more appealing or more valuable than my dick. I talk to women with attitude like, I know you want some of Alan Roger Currie's dick. I know you want some of this dick. Otherwise, why are you talking to me? Why are you in conversation with me if you don't want some of this dick? Like, remember my verbal seduction story from Ooh Said Again, verbal seduction story number 1, where I was on a triple date and the woman spent the first 60 to 75 minutes treating me like a chump, but then a half hour later, I had this woman acting like she was my personal sex slave? See, that was the difference. That was the difference in that verbal seduction story. See, for that first hour and 15 minutes I was interacting with that woman, I was basically treating her like she had something to offer me of value, but I didn't have anything to offer her back. And that's what a lot of you men do. You treat women like their pussy has all this value, but like you ain't got shit of value between your legs. Man, I don't do that shit. And the biggest switch that happened, that same incident, that triple date incident, was when the thing that caused the, you could say, the turnaround was after she pissed me off when I went to take that walk outside and she followed me. I started then talking to her like with an attitude like, I know you want to suck my dick. I know you dying to suck my dick. I didn't talk to her with an attitude of, ooh, can I please have some pussy, please, please, please. No, I talked to her with an attitude like, I know you want this dick. That's why you came out the apartment and followed my ass, because you want some of this dick. And again, no less than 9 out of every 10 women I seduce, that's how I talk to them. I treat them with a very cocky attitude of, I know you want some of this dick. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be flirting with me. You wouldn't be engaged in conversation with me. You would be ignoring the fuck out of me. I dare women to reject me. I dare women to ignore me. That's what a lot of you motherfuckers need to do. That's what I do with women. A lot of you guys, y'all scared of rejection. I ain't scared of rejection. I dare women to reject me. I dare women to ignore me. Because that's the only way a woman going to prove to me that she don't want some of my dick is to ignore my ass. Now, admonishment. Well, this is just another variation of admonishment. I told you I was doing 2 consultations, one-on-one coaching sessions in Chicago. And one of the 2 guys I work with, bless his heart, man. Bless his heart. And he probably going to watch this video, so I hope he doesn't feel like I'm picking on him. But here's what I don't understand about some of you guys, man. I've talked about this a number of times when I did my blog talk radio show and even probably a couple of video podcasts already. What is up with you guys assuming the worst? That's what I want to know. Explain that to me like I'm a 5th grader. Why do you guys go into your interactions with women assuming that the worst is going to happen? Do you know that goes against the very principle, the very nature of what it means to be a confident human being? See, that's basically what it means to be confident. What does it mean to be confident? When somebody says that guy is very confident, he's highly self-assured, that doesn't, when a guy is confident, that doesn't mean that he's going to achieve every goal that he wants to 100% of the time. It doesn't mean he's going to accomplish every objective that he wants to 100% of the time. It doesn't mean that he's going to always receive positive, enthusiastic, and or reciprocal reactions, responses, and results from women 100% of the time. But what it does means is that that is his positive assumption going into the interaction. So in other words, if I approach a woman and I talk to her with an attitude like I know for a fact that she's going to agree to have sex with me, that means I'm a confident motherfucker, even if she ends up rejecting me. If I go into the interaction with the positive assumption that that woman is going to have sex with me, that means I'm a confident motherfucker. But if you go into an interaction saying in your mind, oh, I know she's going to reject me. Oh, man, I know she's going to say I'm not her type. I know she's going to say I'm ugly. I know she's going to say I'm a nerd. I know she's going to say I'm boring. If you're already thinking like that, I mean, what are you doing? Where does that come from? Like, here's a specific thing, and I think I mentioned this already. As a matter of fact, I know I did, because I was talking about David X. Here's what really pisses me. Speaking of David X, and I think I told this story, so if I did, excuse me for repeating myself. But we were in Amsterdam. And David X, like most dating coaches, they ain't trying to pass off any of their clients to another client. You know, most dating coaches, pickup artists, they want to keep, their loyal clients to themselves. But to my surprise, David X told me, this was in 2010, we went to Amsterdam together, and he went there to meet with 2 or 3 clients, and he wanted me to join him. So I joined him in Amsterdam, had a ball in Amsterdam. That's a great place to visit if you've never been there. But David X said, man, I got this one client, man, I don't even want him to be my client no more. I'm going to pass him on to you, Alan. And I was like, why you want to pass on your client to me? He said, it just frustrates me too much. I've had enough of him. He won't listen to me. He just won't listen to me. So I'm going to cut him off. He said, I'm going to pass him on to you. If you think you can work with him. So I end up meeting the guy. David X introduces me to the guy. And for the first 5, maybe 10 minutes of the conversation, he seems like a great guy. He wasn't from America, but he spoke pretty fluent English. And, no, he's a reasonably handsome guy. I'd even say fairly athletic build. And he seemed very intelligent, very articulate. And he says, oh, Alan, yeah, man, I read Mo 1, man. I love your book, man. Oh, man, it's such a great book. But then he starts saying stuff like, yeah, man, I want to be Mo 1, but I just don't want a woman just hauling off and slapping me. And whenever somebody says, clients say that type of shit to me, the first thing I ask them, I say, well, how many times has that happened to you? So I asked him, I said, how many times has that happened to you? He said, oh, never. And I was like, well, why are you talking about it? Why are you even thinking about that? And he went on to give me like 3 or 4 other examples of that. Like another example, he's like, oh, I don't want no woman loud talking me in front of her girlfriends. I said, how many times has that happened to you? He said, never. I said, then why the fuck you talking about it then? And my client last week was doing this same type of shit. He was like, Alan, man, I'm hyped to be Mo 1, but man, I don't want a woman to just humiliate me in public. I said, how many times have you been humiliated in public? He said, never. I said, then why are you talking about it? Why are you thinking about it? One of the first books I got exposed to, like a self-help book when I was young, I think middle school or maybe high school, was this book written by this author named Norman Vincent Peale. Some of you old school guys might be familiar with that name. Norman Vincent Peale. Yeah, Norman Vincent Peale. Look it up on Google. He wrote one of the first groundbreaking self-help books. Like, because back in the day, self-help wasn't as big as it is today. Like, there was only a handful of self-help gurus. And, oh, speaking of that, time out. I got to go on a little quick segue with some people call one of my infamous rambles. I had a guy comment in my comment section. He said, Alan, if you're supposed to be a top-notch self-help guru yourself, why are you comparing yourself to other self-help gurus, and why are you showing admiration for other self-help gurus? Like, you mentioned Tony Robbins a couple of times. Tony Robbins never mentions other self-help gurus. Actually, that's not true. I have heard Tony Robbins mention other self-help gurus before in some of his audios and videos. So that's not true. But I will say this, man. I admire the shit out of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, I don't know about when it comes to just his philosophies for life improvement, self-improvement in different areas. I probably have some minor disagreements with him. Probably, definitely when it relates to dating relationships. But on a purely business end, oh man, I admire the shit out of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is arguably the wealthiest self-help guru in the world. I'm going to say, I don't know of any self-help guru who's wealthier than Tony Robbins. I mean, this dude makes just millions of dollars per year, man. You know, multiple celebrities seek out this dude's self-help advice, man. I mean, yeah, he's arguably if he's not the wealthiest, at minimum, I want to say he's in the top 2, top 3 wealthiest self-help gurus in the world. So, on a purely business end, man, I like, I remember one time I was watching an infomercial, and with this NFL quarterback named Fran Tarkenton, used to play for the Minnesota Vikings back in the day. And Fran Tarkenton asked him, he said, Tony, I heard when you first started being a self-help guru, you charged people $1,000 per weekend. He said, what gave you the audacity to charge people that much money when you had an unknown name? And he said, because I knew my advice was rock solid. And see, I'm going to confess this myself. This is something I'm going to confess. And my brother will co-sign with me on this, and I got a cousin who works on Wall Street who will co-sign with me on this. A lot of times, man, I've undersold myself. I will openly admit that. I've undersold myself. And that's one thing Tony Robbins said in that infomercial. He said, man, I'm not willing to undersell myself. He said he was basically like, I'd rather oversell myself than undersell myself. In other words, his attitude was, if my advice is really worth $500, I would rather charge $750 to $1,000 for that advice than to charge $100 or $200 for that $500 worth of advice. He was like, I ain't gonna never undersell myself. He said, if anything, I'm gonna oversell myself. And see, that's what I told you guys in one of my previous podcasts. Like, I got a cousin on Wall Street. He teases me about that all the time. He's like, Alan, man. Like, for example, my one-on-one coaching, I think the most I charge is $2,500 for 3 days worth of one-on-one face-to-face coaching. My cousin on Wall Street thinks that's ridiculous. He's like, dude, you should be charging $20,000 for a 3-day coaching session. At minimum 15. He was like, anything less than 15,000. He's like, man, you underselling yourself. What the hell are you doing? And he's dead serious about it. He's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you doing. And my older brother, he gets on my case all the time about me underselling myself. Like, I know some of you guys wrote me and said you were pissed that I'm starting to charge for some of my YouTube videos. Shit, y'all don't want to talk to my brother then. My brother's like, dude, you should be charging $99.99 for every YouTube video you do. And he's dead serious when he said, he don't be saying that jokingly. He be dead serious. He's like, dude, I can't believe you're doing free YouTube videos. His attitude is, fuck that shit. He said, the only time you should be doing shit for free is when you're an unknown commodity, when nobody just knows who the fuck you are. But he said, dude, you on Wikipedia, man. You're internationally known. What the fuck you doing free videos for people for? And doing videos charging people 99 cents and $1.99. So, dude, if y'all was to ever meet my older brother and my cousin on Wall Street, man, when it comes to business, they 10 times more hardcore than I am. Yeah, my cousin, man, he's like, dude, if you're charging anything less than 15 grand, you underselling yourself. Anyway, But yeah, on that side note about Tony Robbins, man, I respect the shit out of Tony Robbins because if I ain't learned nothing else from him, man, and I probably still haven't learned it from him because I haven't implemented it fully. But that was one thing about him on the business tip. He was like, dude, he's like, I ain't gonna never undervalue any of my advice. He's like, I will overvalue my shit before I will undervalue it. And that's why his ass is making like $100 million a year. But what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about, here's what some of you guys kill me on, man. You be expecting negative shit to happen. Now, I ain't gonna criticize you too much because obviously that's one of the reasons why you come to me. So I guess in an indirect way, I should be thankful that there's so many guys out here who lack confidence, because that's one of the things I do with my clients is help them build their confidence. But I have to say, man, it's kind of, here's where I can understand a lack of confidence or negative thinking is when you've experienced something before. Like, if you tell me, Alan, I'm scared to be among one because I'm scared of a woman slapping me, and I ask you how many times it happened, you say, yeah, it's happened like 2 or 3 times where I had a woman slap me when I said something sexually provocative. See, that's when I'm empathetic. I'm understanding of it. If you've experienced it before, or if you say, I'm scared to be more one because I'm scared of a woman loud talking to me in front of girlfriends, and I ask you how many times does that happen, and you say, yeah, that happened to me like 5 times in the last 2 years. See, I understand that. I empathize with that, man, if you've experienced it before. But for those of you guys who you've never experienced these negative things you talk about, I don't understand that, man. I really, honestly don't, man. I mean, one thing that my older brother and some of my close friends trip off of me is, see, I'm pretty much just the opposite of that. In the same way, you got a lot of guys that assume negative shit is going to happen and have a severe lack of confidence when it comes to dealing with women. Dude, most of the time, I'm guilty of having too much confidence. I'm the type of guy, man, if I go into like the grocery store, I tend to confidently believe that I'm going to get a woman from that grocery store to suck my dick in the parking lot. That's how confident I am. If I go to any party, I believe I'm going to meet 1 or 2 women that I can fuck that night that are going to enthusiastically agree to suck my dick and give me some pussy. I'm rarely around a woman where I feel like, damn, I don't think I'm going to be able to fuck her, or I don't think I'm going to be able to have sex with her. I tell you, my level of confidence is, you would almost sometimes have to think of a new word that goes beyond cocky. Because there's confident, then cocky, and then whatever that higher level is, that's where I am at least 50% of the time. I'm super duper confident, man, when I interact with women. I believe I can seduce any woman, any day, anytime, particularly if she shows me even a remote sign that she's attracted to me and genuinely interested in talking to me. I feel like within less than an hour, I'm going to have my dick in her mouth. I don't care where we are. We could be in the post office. We could be anywhere. I believe I can seduce any woman. Any woman. Even though realistically, I know I can't. But it's just like, that's how a lot of athletes are. Like most quarterbacks, they know realistically they're not going to complete every pass. But no quarterback in the NFL throws a pass with the expectation that that pass is going to be incomplete. All the top quarterbacks like Tom Brady, every pass they throw, they believe it's going to be a completed pass. Even though deep down, they know realistically some of their passes are going to be intercepted or some of their passes are going to be knocked down. Same with basketball. Most of your top basketball players like Steph Currie of the Golden State Warriors, he believes every shot he takes is going to go in the net. Now, he knows deep down realistically that some of his shots are going to miss, fall short, or be too long, or clank off the rim. But at the time he's shooting the ball, he doesn't believe that shit. He believes every single shot he takes is going to go through the net. And that's how I am with women, dude. I believe every woman that I have at least a 5-minute conversation with, I'm going to fuck them. Until it's absolutely proven to me that it's not going to happen. But I always go in with confident expectations. I've had friends of mine that tease me about it. They say, damn, Alan, sometimes, man, you too confident, man. You too cocky. You believe you can, like, seduce any bitch on earth. I'm like, you damn right I do. That's my belief. That might not be my reality, but that's my belief. I believe every woman that is willing to have at least a 5-minute conversation with me, I can get their pussy wet. And that's a fact. I believe every woman who has a 5-minute conversation with me that I have the potential to get their pussy wet. I mean, you listening to a guy. I've gotten women's pussies wet over the phone before they even saw a picture of me, before they even met me in person. There's been roughly at least 50, no less than 50, 60 women in my life I've had phone sex with. A lot of these women were on business calls they had never met me yet. They had never even seen a picture of me. So you couldn't say it was just about looks, like they thought I was handsome. I got women's pussy wet before they even saw me. That's why a couple of my roommates, when I lived in LA, I had some roommates used to trip on me a lot. They used to be like, damn, Alan, you had phone sex with a chick and she hadn't even seen how you look. You could have been like the ugliest motherfucker on earth. That's when you know you're a verbally smooth and verbally seductive motherfucker. Is when you can get a woman's pussy wet that ain't even seen you. You might not even be her physical type. But I've gotten women's pussies wet. And that's what gives me the confidence to know I'm a bad motherfucker, man. See, everything I've experienced that's positive just reinforces my confidence. Now, I was confident even before I experienced a lot of my infamous same-day seductions. But definitely once I did, oh man, my confidence went out the roof. Once I, like that, for example, my infamous grocery store story. Once I got a woman to suck my dick in a fucking public grocery store, man, there wasn't nothing I believed I couldn't accomplish with women. I believed I could get a woman to suck my dick in a movie theater, and I have. I believe I could get a woman to give me some pussy in a restaurant, and I have. I fucked in so many public places, it ain't even funny, man. Like, even some of my male friends who've gotten more pussy, like I got at least a handful of guys who, in terms of pure numbers, they've gotten more pussy than me in their life than I have. Like, their numbers are at least slightly higher, in one or two cases, significantly higher than mine in terms of just pure numbers. But one thing even a lot of those guys will say to me, they say, Alan, I've gotten more pussy than you. But damn, man, even I have to say, man, I haven't gotten pussy as quickly as you and in as many public places as you have. Matter of fact, I want to say, at the risk of tooting my horn, I don't know if any guy who I know personally that's fucked women seduced women quicker than me and seduced women in more public places than I have. Now, again, there's some guys I know, at least a handful, who have just fucked more women than me. But when it comes to seducing women in less than 2 hours after they first met that woman, and even more specifically seducing a woman and having sex with them in some type of public venue, nah. I don't know any of my close male friends who can top me in those two areas. And that's why my confidence, again, man, is so fucking high, man. But I never, man, I don't anticipate negative shit happening to me. Even if in reality it ends up happening to me. Like, again, there's a lot of women who have rejected me. I've been rejected hundreds of times by women. But again, I never go into the interaction expecting to be rejected. Again, that's the basic representation of a lack of confidence. When you go into an interaction expecting a negative reaction, a negative response, a negative result, that means you lack confidence, man. I'm going to tell you this, and this probably a lot of pickup artists and dating coaches might not say this, but I'm going to tell you this. Most guys say it's always better to approach than not approach. And generally, I would say I agree with that, but I'm going to say this, and I've said this before to clients. It's better not to approach a woman at all than approach a woman in a weak, cowardly, totally non-confident manner. It's better not to approach a woman. You might as well not approach that woman at all, man. Seriously. Now, if you're going to approach a woman with some degree of confidence, then that's when I would say, yeah, it's better always to approach than not approach. But if you're going to approach a woman with a weak, cowardly, no backbone, totally non-confident man, you better off not approaching that woman at all, man. Like I heard one dating coach, I ain't going to say his name. I heard this one dating coach, he told his clients, he said, you should only approach women if you know for a fact you're going to be that woman's best fuck. Who the fuck would know that ahead of time? Who the fuck would know that ahead of time? You think every woman I had sex with, that I was her absolute number one best fuck in the world? I'm egotistical and I'm cocky, but I'm not that fucking egotistical. That's fucking unrealistic to think that every woman you fuck, you're going to be that woman's all-time best fuck ever. Now, along those same lines, though, every woman I approach and look to seduce, I believe I'm going to be a high-quality, satisfying fuck. I may not believe I'm going to be her absolute best fuck, but I know I ain't going to be no fucking dud. I always approach women with attitude that I'm going to satisfy them just as much, if not more, than they're going to satisfy me. So, yeah, man, you guys need to, let me see what other notes I got. Okay, here's one more thing. I always jot down little bullet point notes for me to remember in case I forget something. I was talking about results. And I say this in my book. If you already read Mode 1 or one or two of my other books, I emphasize this a lot. Technically, you should never really concentrate on reactions, responses, and results, period. Why? Because that's out of your control. You know, that's my big thing. And I learned that, speaking of other self-help gurus, I learned that from Stephen R. Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He's another self-help guru who I respect and admire. He's passed away now, but oh yeah, that's one of my favorite, if not the favorite, self-help book of all time that I read. Yeah, that's probably number one of all the self-help books I've ever read in my life. Is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I would say a close second is James Allen's book called As a Man Thinketh, So Is He, where he basically says, related to some of the stuff I'm talking about. In the book As a Man Thinketh, James Allen says, whatever you think, you become. If you think negative all the time, you become a negative person. If you think positive, you become a positive person. If you think confidently, you become a confident person. If you think non-confidently, you become a non-confident person. Yeah, basically his attitude is all of your thoughts is what determines your beliefs determine your attitudes determine your day-to-day habits and behavior patterns, and your day-to-day behavior patterns determine your life. But yeah, Stephen Covey, his big thing in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is you should never concern yourself with stuff that's out of your control, like other people's behavior. If you're always worried about how someone else is going to behave towards you, see, then that means you're concerning yourself with stuff that's out of your control. Like a lot of guys, for example, do that with women. They concern themselves with how women are going to behave towards them and how women are going to react and respond to their behavior. That's out of your control, man. That's out of your fucking control. It's just like I was talking about being good in bed. You have no control over how a woman evaluates your sex skills. You can have sex with one woman on Monday who might think you're the best lover she ever had, and you can have sex with a woman on Tuesday or Wednesday who might think you may be the 10th or 11th best lover she's ever had. You can't control that shit. That's her control. I always say a man can only control two things: how he behaves towards other people and how he allows other people to behave towards him. But a lot of you people, man, a lot of you guys, you concentrate too much on potential reactions, potential responses, and potential results. I don't concern myself with that shit. I don't concern myself with that shit at all, man. When I go into an interaction with women, all I care about is how am I expressing myself verbally to this woman? And how is my demeanor and body language? That's the only thing I concern myself with. Those two things. Is my overall body language and my demeanor, how self-assured it is, and how confidently and how smooth and seductive I'm expressing myself verbally. Beyond that, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if a woman gives me a negative reaction. That's her choice. That ain't in my control. I don't give a fuck if a woman rejects me. That's her choice. That's not in my control. I don't give a fuck if a woman calls me names, criticizes me, and insults me about how forward I am and how sexually explicit and provocative I am. That's her choice. That's out of my control. All I control is what I want to say and how I want to say it. Period. It's just like I was talking about athletes, man. It's just like there was this shooter, I can't remember who it was. He was known for being good at three-point shots in the NBA. I don't know if it was Ray Allen. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Or it might have been Reggie Miller. It could have been somebody else. But this person, whoever it was, they said something that I've never forgotten. He said, the only thing you can control as a basketball player, as a shooter, is the proper form. The proper form. Because this basketball player said, once the ball leaves your hands, your fingertips, you no longer have control over that ball. The ball's on its own at that point. Once it leaves your fingertips, it's out of your control. The only thing you can control that ball is while it's in your hand. You can control shooting it with the proper form. He said that's all he concentrates on. He doesn't concentrate on if it's going to go in the net, if it's not going to go in the net, if it's going to hit the rim and bounce off or whatever else. He just concentrates on shooting that ball with the proper form. And that's similar to what I teach my clients, man. I tell guys, only concentrate on the approach itself. Don't even concern yourself with what might happen after that. What she might say, how she might respond, how she might react. I don't give a fuck, man. Here's why I don't give a fuck. And you guys, most of you, my long-time followers, know this. See, a lot of you guys, and this is where I disagree with a lot of pickup artists, a lot of dating coaches. A lot of pickup artists and dating coaches, they almost essentially teach men to be afraid of rejection and to be afraid of negative reactions. Like, I've been exposed to a lot of videos of other pickup artists and dating coaches where almost all of their advice centers around preventing and avoiding rejection and preventing and avoiding negative reactions. I never do that shit. Ever. And again, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that. I've never done that. Dude, here's the reason why. And most of you know the reason why. Dude, I've had women fucking curse me the fuck out. I've had women call me every name in the book, insult me to the highest degree, and then a half hour later, I was in bed with that same woman. I had my dick in that same woman's mouth. So you think I'm going to be afraid of negative reactions? Shit, I go like this when a woman giving me a negative reaction. Truthfully, I always joke with guys, I'm more scared of the women who give me those real cool, calm, collected reactions. Those are the reactions that scare me, is when a woman just calmly says, no, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I mean, I appreciate your honesty, but no. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. See, those are the women I know who are genuine. Those are the women who I know are genuinely not interested. Is the women who don't get theatrical, they don't get dramatic, they don't raise their voice. They just say, no. I mean, you're very straightforward and I like that, but no, I'm not interested. But all the women who start doing all that theatrical shit like, oh, you're an asshole, you're a jerk, and blah, 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 blah. Man, I know I'm going to get my dick in their mouth. I know I'm going to get my dick in their mouth. Either that day, a few days later, a few weeks later, a few months later, I know my dick is going to end up in their mouth when a woman gives me a real hyperactive theatrical response. Why do you think that is? I ain't going to go into detail right now. I'm going to make that a paid video. Well, shit, most of my shit going to be paid now, but I'm going to do a video on wholesome pretenders and erotic hypocrites, and that's when I'm going to go into detail about why women give those theatrical reactions. So all that to say, I ain't scared of no negative reaction. I love negative reactions. Anybody who's hung around me in person, they know, man, when women give me negative reactions, first thing I start doing is I smirk. I'll have like this really cocky smirk on my face when a woman starts giving me real negative reactions. Because I know I'm going to seduce them. I know I'm going to break them down. I know I'm going to end up fucking them. I say this, dare a woman to reject your ass. Be cocky as hell, be straightforward as hell, and dare a woman to reject you. Dare a woman to ignore you. That's what you do. You dare a woman to ignore you. And if you watch my video on no free attention, you understand the method behind that madness. You understand the method behind that madness. Some of you motherfuckers right now like, damn, Alan Currie, you a clever motherfucker, man. I know I am. For my clients who get it, I always say certain clients, they get it. For the clients that truly get me, and this is going to be a very egotistical thing for me to say, but I'm going to say it because I just don't give a fuck. They know my shit's genius. They know it is. The people who fully get me, I've had them write me and tell me, they say, damn, Alan, your shit's just genius, man. Your shit's just so fucking clever. It's almost damn near flawless. And it is. Why do you think I've been mode 1 since I was like 21, 22? There ain't no flaws in the mode 1 approach. Now, if you look at the mode 1 approach if you evaluate it from the perspective of does it help you get laid with every single woman you meet? No, I would never say that. So if that's how you evaluate it, no, I wouldn't say it's flawless. Because you're going to be rejected by women. But the thing I will guarantee you, when you mode 1, either one or two things is going to happen. Plain and simply. Here's one or two things that's going to happen whenever you mode 1 with women. You either going to get laid, or at minimum, you ain't going to waste no damn time or money with women who don't want to give you any pussy. One of those two. Either you going to get laid, or if you don't get laid, you ain't going to waste no significant amount of time and or money with women who don't want to give you any pussy. And see, it's actually, for me, that second part, that's what a lot of you guys don't realize about me and my backstory and my background. That second part was actually more important to me than the first part. Because truth be told, when I used to be mode 2 with women, I was getting laid. It wasn't like I wasn't getting laid being mode 2. When I was mode 2 with women, I got laid. I would say even occasionally I might have gotten laid being mode 3. So it wasn't like mode 1 was the only mode of my modes that got me laid. I got laid being mode 2. The problem I had with being mode 2, and even more so mode 3, is the amount of time, and in some cases, time and money that I wasted with those women who wasn't going to give me no pussy. That's what would leave me pissed off. That's what left me fucking pissed off. I don't like wasting time with women who ain't trying to give me no pussy. And I'll shut up there. So my wrap up. My first wrap up is, hey man, for you guys, and it's not a high percentage of my listeners and followers who fall in this category, but for you guys who always harshly criticizing women and passing judgment on women's sexual habits, sexual preferences, Man, you need to take a good look in the fucking mirror. You need to evaluate yourself. Number one, if you criticize women for cheating on their husbands, their fiancés, or their long-term boyfriends, you need to ask yourself, have you ever cheated on your wife, your fiancé, your long-term girlfriend? If you have, then you need to shut the fuck up. If you criticize women for being promiscuous, but you ultra promiscuous yourself, then you need to shut the fuck up. If you've slept with multiple women in one day, 1 week, or 1 month, but you criticizing women for doing the same thing, you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I'm saying to you. You need to take a good long look in the mirror and examine your own character, your own integrity, your own behavior patterns before you start coming down all hard on women and calling them things like no good, slutty bitches. What makes you good? That's what I want to know. What makes you good? Second recap. Guys, if you got preferences yourself with women, don't criticize women for having preferences. If you got a preference for short women, don't criticize women for having a preference for tall men. If you got a preference for women with big, round, juicy asses, don't criticize women who have a preference for guys with big dicks. If you got a criticism for women with long hair, don't criticize a woman for having a preference for men with short hair, whatever it may be. Everybody got their preferences, man. Everybody got their preferences. Ain't no point in you sitting around whining and complaining about it, getting on YouTube, whining and complaining. Hey, man, if a woman don't want to give you no pussy, you just got to accept that shit. That's why you got rapists and date rapists and shit like that, because some guys can't accept the fact that some women just don't want to give them no pussy. Seriously, that's why you have men who do stuff like get women drunk or put drugs in their food and drinks and rape them and date rape them and sexually assault them, because they can't accept the fact that some women just don't want to give them any pussy. You better learn to accept that shit, man. Some women, you just don't do it for them. And you got to accept that and move on. And hopefully find a woman who you do it for. But not every woman you meet and not every woman you're going to be attracted to are you going to be able to get their pussy wet. And finally, man, if you're going to approach women at all, develop positive thinking, man. If you need to do email consultations with me, Skype and telephone consultations with me, and one-on-one face-to-face coaching sessions for me to help you build your confidence and weed out all of your invalid beliefs, invalid attitudes, invalid fears, and invalid egotistical insecurities, then do that. Do that. Reach out to me. I've helped a lot of men become more confident and more self-assured in their interactions with women. But like I said already, man, it's better not to approach a woman at all than approach a woman with a total lack of confidence. No woman likes no weak man, man. I'm telling you that right now. No woman likes a weak, non-confident man. Non-sexually, they might like you. But sexually, you are not a turn-on for any woman walking this earth unless you offer to pay her money. Then she's going to fake an orgasm with you after you pay her the money. She's going to take your money and then fake an orgasm and hope she's going to have her fingers crossed that act of intercourse is as quick and short as possible. You better stop listening to these women telling you they get turned off by cocky men. That's bullshit. Because I'm one of the cockiest motherfuckers walking this earth, and it's gotten me a lot of pussy. Shit. I believe every woman wants my dick, even if I know deep down that's not the truth. But that's how I carry myself. I carry myself like every woman wants some of my dick, and I tell them that. Hashtag confident and positive thinking. Confident, A-N-D, positive thinking. That's the hashtag for today. Mo1. Go out and make some shit happen. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1. Mode 1.
Look at her go, please. You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, king. Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. 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 Oh. Oh. Oh.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.